Here is the bold and the beautiful recap for Thursday, October 16th, 2025. Sheila slowly shut the door to Taylor's office after seeing the embrace between her and Deacon. Taylor pointed out the series of tragedies Deacon had recently faced, and he admitted a lot was coming at him. Taylor assured Deacon he'd make it through this, but she wasn't a fortune teller and couldn't make promises. The journey of Deacon's mental health recovery was entirely up to him. He wanted more sessions with Taylor because she was already helping him through this. She told him she would always be there for him, something that irked Sheila as she lurked outside the office. After Deacon was gone, Sheila surprised Taylor at the office, which alarmed her. She asked why Sheila was there, to which she replied, "I think you know the answer to that." She thought it was odd that Taylor was surprised to see her, and Sheila came in quite aggressively. She knew Taylor didn't talk about work much, but her newest patient was someone Sheila cared a lot about, and she wanted answers. Sheila confessed to Taylor that it hurt to hear that he was seeking outside help for the troubles in the marriage. Taylor wasn't prepared to break patient confidentiality, and Sheila sort of understood. She took full responsibility for keeping everyone in the dark about Luna still being alive, but she thought her granddaughter would change. She apologized to Taylor, but sorry wasn't cutting it. Taylor told Sheila, "You harbored a violent criminal." Sheila switched topics and said she wasn't there to debate about Luna. She knew Taylor was highly respected, and she needed her to set their past differences aside to help guide Deacon in the correct direction. Sheila said Deacon was her entire world, and through all of the life changes, his love healed her. Sheila was prepared to do anything necessary to save her marriage, which prompted a flashback of Taylor and Deacon hugging in yesterday's new episode. She left Taylor with a remark that she wouldn't let anyone or anything come between her and Deacon. Ridge was in awe that Brooke cared enough about Taylor's well-being and wanted her to find happiness. He liked that after everything they faced, she didn't want Taylor to be hurt. Ridge recalled the failed friendship between Brooke and Taylor, and while that didn't work out, he maintained that he and Taylor would always remain close. Ridge was self-aware enough to realize the damage he caused to Taylor's life. Brooke tried to assure him that a breakup isn't the end of the world and revealed that Hopen and Carter were doing well after ending their engagement. Brooke said she had never felt safer than she did in Ridge's arms, and destiny continued as they kissed again. Carter arrived in the midst of the kiss and reminded Ridge that there was a Hope for the future meeting on the agenda. Hope admitted that Sheila was on her best behavior with Deacon, so she couldn't imagine the pain he felt. Deke hoped Sheila's latest betrayal would be enough of a wake-up call to move forward without her. Regardless of their father's issues, Hope was glad to have Deke back in town. It was different discussing their issues face-to-face. Neither child thought Deacon could stay with Sheila after keeping Luna's resurrection a secret. Before she left, Hope reminded Deke that she had a lot of portfolios to look over, which sparked an idea in his head. With Hope out of the design room, Deke snuck over to Ridge's office and placed his own portfolio in the stack of candidates. After his sneak move, Hope returned and was quickly followed by Deacon. His kids revealed to him that he was the most recent topic of discussion. Deacon hyped up Deke as a future powerhouse of the fashion industry, but they both pointed out how he was avoiding the subject of Sheila. Despite his pleas not to, Deacon's son and daughter were both concerned for him. He said it wasn't the only struggle he'd faced, but Hope and Deke vowed to be there for him no matter what. He said they weren't the only ones helping him through things, and told them, "I'm not the kind of guy who usually likes to talk to other people about my issues, but I just felt like I could use some backup. I've been seeing Taylor professionally, talking about Sheila." Deke was proud of his father for getting help, but Hope wasn't convinced that Taylor was the best option. She was not a stranger, and although she understood the situation, she was hardly unbiased. Hope was proud too, but she had to leave for the business meeting to decide the HFTF designer. Deacon said Deke was a designer. But Deke didn't want to receive a handout from Hope. He wanted to earn things on his own merit, something that left Hope impressed. Deacon questioned Deke about the mystery boyfriend, something nobody had been able to pry out of him so far. Deke changed the subject and had questions for his father about the status of his and Sheila's marriage. Deacon and Deke went back and forth to avoid comments about their love lives. In a change of pace, Deacon wanted Deke to cut out the anti-nepotism comments. The entire company was built on that premise, but Deke wouldn't waver. The connection between Deacon and Sheila was complicated, and he still didn't know how he would proceed. Deke questioned whether Sheila was actually the woman he wanted to spend his life with, or if there was someone else out there with morals and integrity who would be a better fit. Brooke, Ridge, and Carter looked over the designs, but they weren't impressed at first. There was nothing that jumped out at them. Ridge took a moment to check in on Carter about his breakup with Hope, but he assured him that everything was going well. Carter pointed out the awkwardness of the situation when Hope walked into the room, but she didn't think it was awkward at all. She felt like they could remain friends. Hope spotted the mystery portfolio left by Deke and didn't recall seeing it before. Ridge was also unaware. They were all confused about the designs, but they felt it was fresher and far bolder than what they'd seen prior. Hope thought the designs screamed, as if the designer actually knew her. This was finally what they were all looking for, but their next task was to determine who the designer was. Here are your The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers for Thursday, October 16th, 2025. On Wednesday's all-new episode, viewers finally got a break from Luna, but the ramifications of her actions were still felt across the canvas. Deacon began therapy sessions with Taylor, hoping to find a path forward after Sheila's devastating betrayal. Deke and Hope believe their father can do better than Sheila, and that concern will continue. On Thursday, Deke is saddened by Deacon's pain and confides in Hope. If things continue down the current path for their father, with Taylor's guidance, he may soon be free of his murderous wife. Deke will have an eventful episode besides discussing the state of his father's marriage. He also makes a major career move. He's expressed interest in the revived Hope for the Future line since reuniting with his sister, and he's ready to throw his name in the mix for its future. While at Forrester, Deke secretly slips his portfolio into the stack of designer submissions. With the designs being anonymously submitted, Hope could potentially select her brother's designs, giving him a massive jumpstart to his fledgling career. Deke just graduated from design school, so he has the ability to do the unthinkable and become the lead designer for one of fashion's hottest lines. Hope for the Future was a staple of Forrester before it was shelved, and for once, Hope can work with someone that she doesn't have a complicated past with. There was always underlying tension between her and Thomas when they worked together on the line, even when they were romantically entangled, so this is a welcome change. Although it appeared as if Ridge and Brooke were finally on the outs, permanently, he waffled again earlier this year and married her on the same day he was set to marry Taylor. Brooke recently expressed how happy she was to be married to him again, and on Thursday, Brooke and Ridge share a passionate kiss. After all, Brooke has a lot to be grateful for. Not only is she married to her destiny, but her new husband reinstated her daughter's previously discarded line. Brooke and Ridge seem more rock-solid than ever before, but it's evident that Brooke doesn't feel entirely on solid ground. On Wednesday's episode, Brooke wondered what was next for Ridge's ex, Taylor, and she expressed a desire for Taylor to find a new man. Although Brooke is unaware that something could be brewing between Taylor and Deacon, she is clearly desperate for Taylor to find someone else as soon as possible. Given Ridge's history of indecisiveness between the two women, she needs Taylor to move on with someone else, and fast. Steffi is returning to town soon, which will place Ridge and Taylor in close proximity. If Brooke and Ridge are going to remain blissfully married, she will need to keep an eye on their connection. If history is any indication, the passion she is set to feel in that kiss could wane in the other direction at a moment's notice. Yesterday's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful ended with Sheila witnessing something she wished she hadn't, and it left us thinking these 4 words: "Here we go again." She eavesdropped on Deacon's therapy session with Taylor, and then she got an eyeful when the session ended with Deacon and Taylor in a close embrace. Will Sheila's jealousy drive her back to her dangerous ways and the evil life she's been trying to leave behind? On Wednesday's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful, Deacon told his wife Sheila he can't get past the secret she kept about her psychotic granddaughter Luna being alive. After all, Luna killed his friends Tom and Hollis. He even admitted he's seeing a therapist to help him figure out where to go from here. Sheila asked who the therapist was, and he told her it was Taylor. It would have been great if Deacon had kept mum about that, but then he would be keeping a secret. So even though we applaud his honesty, he may have inadvertently put a target on Taylor's back, considering that Sheila has a murderous past and she once shot Taylor. First of all, Deacon was being pretty flirty with Taylor, telling her Ridge was an idiot for breaking up with her. "Any man would be lucky to have you in his life," Deacon told her, and even though we could see she was trying to keep their interaction on a professional level, she was a little flirty with him too. She laughed when he called her beautiful. In one way, we have to show her some grace. After all the heartbreak Ridge has put her through over the years, she must feel flattered to know other men find her attractive. But Taylor needs to remember she's talking to the husband of the woman who once shot not only her, but also her daughter Steffi, her son-in-law Finn, and her friend and once mother-in-law Stephanie. Many B&B fans wonder why Taylor accepted Deacon as a patient to begin with. It's a huge conflict of interest. Huge is actually an understatement. About that hug, what was Taylor thinking? Maybe she views Deacon as a friend, but doesn't it breach some code of ethics for a psychiatrist to embrace her patient? You would think she wouldn't want to give him the wrong idea since he's in a vulnerable state right now, and he was just flirting with her a minute ago. Of course, as soaps would have it, Sheila just had to eavesdrop on their talk, and then she witnessed the embrace. That jealous, evil glare on her face had us wondering all kinds of things. Is she going to revert to her stalking, killing, psychotic self? Is she going to approach Taylor in her office when she's working late one night and everyone else has left the building? Is Sheila going to take a page from her granddaughter Luna's book and lock Taylor in a cage in some remote place where no one else knows where Taylor is? Please, let's not see any of that. We already have lunatic Luna committing rapes, murders, and druggings. She may be in police custody right now, but for how long? We suspect she will eventually get released for some ridiculous reason, and she will target Electra, since Electra is the one who called the cops on her. We don't need another serial killer on the Bold and the Beautiful running around, stalking and harming people. But if Sheila does go back to her violent ways, then we can already see what's coming. She will put Taylor in danger. Deacon will play hero and save the day. Sheila will end up behind bars, and Deacon will start a new chapter with Taylor. How would Ridge and Brooke feel about that? That could be an interesting storyline, but would Deacon and Taylor be a good match? We will just have to wait and see. Welcome to the Bold and the Beautiful Daily YAPP for a quick, and by that I mean you're already halfway done, recap of the most amazing, or what the heck did we just watch moments on today's episode. Let's get to it. Leave it to Brooke to be concerned about Taylor's feelings only after she spent months trying to break Taylor's heart. Again, when she expressed her concern to Ridge, all we could do was laugh as we remembered her many moments in Eric's office, begging Ridge to come home, telling him he was her destiny, as she had been doing for decades. Did she think of Taylor's feelings even once during those moments? We knew Brooke was right and that Ridge would inevitably return to her, as he always does, but Brooke truly thought of nobody but herself for months as she literally threw herself at Ridge every chance she got. Heck, she even flung herself off a boat in the Mediterranean to get Ridge's attention. And it worked. At least we know Taylor is used to this and can hold her own. She is hanging out with the FC crowd to gab about Luna. She's seeing patients, and she's doing her best to live her best life despite man-stealing Brooke and King Waffler Ridge. And the saddest part of all? Brooke is more concerned about Taylor than Ridge is. But what do you expect from someone who dumps one woman and marries another right after the commercial break? There's something to be said for expediency in Ridge's world. Want more details? We got you! Soap Central has the best full B&B recaps on the internet. You can even go back over 30 years and read each and every one of them. If you can't wait until the next episode, we have daily spoilers too. And whatever you do this weekend, do not, seriously, do not, forget to read the 2 scoops for some laughs in the as close as we can come to being a watching party without actually being a show. And the best part is, if you agree or disagree, we want to know. As always, share your comments below. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers for Thursday, October 16th reveal that Hope Logan will make an amazing discovery after Deke Sharp pulls off a daring designer move. B&B fans know Deke's been hanging around Forrester Creations with his portfolio, which he propped up in the design office. However, Deke will find a better place for it once he wraps up his latest conversation with Hope. Deke and Hope will continue to fret over Deacon Sharp and the marriage struggles he's dealing with thanks to Sheila Sharp's secrets blowing up. Once Hope and Deke finish discussing their dad's drama, Deke will sneak his portfolio into the pile in the CEO office. Hope has been trying to settle on a new designer to help revamp her fashion line, but she hasn't found one who really wowed her yet. Of course, that's going to change once Hope sees Deke's portfolio and realizes his designs would be perfect to relaunch Hope for the future. Hope's going to be blown away over the anonymous submission, so she'll sing this mystery designer's praises without knowing it's her own brother. After Ridge Forrester and Brooke Logan finish their conversation about Taylor Hayes, they'll enjoy a makeout session before getting back to work. Brooke, Ridge, and Carter Walton will eventually get updates on Hope's new designer pick, so they may agree about the talent behind the impressive gowns and approve her plan to track this person down. Deke will have some explaining to do in the coming episodes, but he'll hope that his daring designer move pays off. In the meantime, Sheila will continue to fume over what she overheard and witnessed from Taylor's office doorway. Since Deacon was basically flirting with Taylor and exchanged a hug with her, Sheila's jealous rage could become a serious issue. The bold and the beautiful spoilers say Sheila may find ways to target Taylor and attempt to sabotage her growing bond with Deacon, so stay tuned for any scary news to come. The bold and the beautiful spoilers hint that Steffi Forrester may say 5 words to Liam Spencer and Hope Logan as she offers this response to their romantic reunion. Steffi's comeback is rapidly approaching, so it's time to start thinking about all the updates she'll receive once she's back in Los Angeles. Of course, John Finnegan will have plenty of shocking Luna Nozawa news to deliver. However, we want to focus on some other LA developments for a moment. Steffi will obviously have a chance to react to Hope's line being reinstated, and will no doubt weigh in on Hope's split from Carter Walton C2. Since Liam wants to reunite with Hope and get their family with Beth Spencer back on track, he's hoping her breakup from Carter will give them a chance to do just that. How will Steffi feel about Liam and Hope heading down this reunion road? Steffi always has an opinion on Liam's love life, so this time should be no different once she's finally back in the LA mix. At some point, B&B spoilers say Steffi will hear about Liam's latest pursuit of Hope and may assume Hope wants him just as much, due to her broken Carter engagement. Hope and Liam always seem to end up back together eventually, so Steffi may not be too surprised. That said, Steffi may be protective of Liam's heart, and maybe even Hope's heart as well, since they managed to bond when they thought Liam was dying. Liam and Hope both hurt each other with bad choices in the past, but Steffi may ultimately urge them to put all that drama in the rearview mirror. If Hope and Liam are going to build a lasting romance, they have to learn to trust each other again and put in some real effort. That brings us to the 5 words Steffi may offer to Liam and Hope as they kick off the next phase of their romantic journey. Get it right this time! The bold and the beautiful spoilers suggest Steffi may give Hope and Liam a warning about not causing each other any more pain, so stay tuned. The bold and the beautiful spoilers hint that Luna Nozawa could plot some prison escape chaos. Will Luna flee the slammer with multiple revenge targets? B&B fans know Luna was livid when she realized she wasn't receiving a get-out-of-jail-free card after all. Thanks to Electra Forrester's phone call to the cops, Luna was arrested for her most recent crimes at the beach house. Now that Luna's looking at another lengthy stint behind bars, she may be desperate to find a fresh path out of trouble. Luna's pregnancy scheme isn't working out as well as she hoped, so she might decide she needs a new strategy. Katie Logan suggested she could eventually take custody of the baby with Bill Spencer and make sure Luna's son or daughter never even finds out who she is. Luna struggled with questions about her father her entire life, so that definitely got under her skin. The thought of Luna's baby being yanked away from her and never knowing she's their mother has to be infuriating for her. With that in mind, Luna may decide that escaping and getting as far away from the Spencers as possible may be her only option. If Luna finally accepts that Will Spencer is never going to love or stand up for her, she might be willing to try this alternative approach. Perhaps Luna could sell her victim act to a naive guard and score some assistance. Luna might even get some help from Sheila Sharp, who has experience breaking out of jail. Whatever the case, prison facilities tend to be pretty easy to break out of when a soap story calls for it. If B&B writers decide Luna should make a quick getaway, then they'll make it happen somehow. Luna would be smart to just disappear into the night, but her vengeful desires might win out in the end. It's easy to imagine Luna going after multiple payback targets on her way out of town. Luna could hunt down Elektra along with anyone else she feels has wronged her. That list might include Will, Katie, Bill, Lee Finnegan, Poppy Nozawa, and especially Steffi Forrester once she's back in town. Luna could target any or all of those characters if she escapes on a vengeful spree, so stay tuned for updates on any bad news that might be brewing. The Bold and the Beautiful, spoilers say, Luna's troublemaking days may not be over just yet. All this time, we'd imagined that Bold and Beautiful fans were lukewarm about Deacon and Sheila as a couple. Theirs was, after all, not exactly an epic romance. The first time they had sex, she was in disguise. She cheated with Deacon while engaged to Bill. Heck, you can review their whole unusual love story in our photo gallery recap. But now that the couple has separated, their shippers are coming out of the woodwork. Though Deacon defrocked Bridget on speakerphone with her family, then knocked up her mother, and Sheila murdered a man with bees and has shot pretty much everyone they know, a segment of the audience is rooting for them. "I hate that they're trying to break up Sheekin," tweeted Monty. Added Susan, "When Deacon was down and out with everyone turning their nose up at him, Sheila was there. She accepts all of him. And now he's got a thriving business and doing well. Yet, I see some of the same ones who love saying pizza restaurant shipping him with Taylor." In fact, while we'd anticipated fans being excited about Taylor taking an interest in anyone other than human Waffle Ridge, they actually seem kinda ticked. "Taylor and Deacon?" Eileen commented, following the October 15th recap. "What an insult!" Wendy Newton was so taken aback by their embrace during his therapy session, she remarked, "Talk about unprofessional. Taylor needs to take a good look at herself." It was the sound heard round the world as Bold and Beautiful fans collectively cheered upon the arrest of murderer/rapist/insaniac Luna Nozawa. Sure, it took a lot longer than it should have. Yes, it was ridiculous that Deputy Chief Baker and his female associate stood there letting the Spencer clan play out their little drama before, at Will's behest, finally dragging Luna out of Bill's mansion. But at the end of this day, Luna was arrested for her many crimes, and that's what counts. Viewers have been almost universally praising the performances of Luna's portrayer, Lisa Yamada, even as they've made it pretty clear the character has run its course. Over on X Twitter, @Angelina A. Fours suggested that Finn's daughter should die, never to be seen again. Redditor U. Woodsman 777 basically agreed, if in a kinder, gentler way. "I thought the actress did a great job," they admitted. "But personally, I'm over the whole Luna story, and I hope it ends here." Others, however, are suggesting that this is only the beginning of Luna's story, whether we like it or not. For example, Redditor U. Lowly Love suggested Luna will get out of jail on some technicality, like you can't charge a dead person. Meanwhile, real debate sprung up after U. Sapphire, Colored Eyes suggested that the only crime Luna could be charged with is holding Hayes' teacher hostage. And their logic worked, in soap terms anyway. They explained that Luna did not actually shoot Liam and Sheila. We saw them wrestle with Luna for the gun and shoot themselves. And while we have joined a chorus of viewers in voicing our disgust over Luna having raped Will, the Redditor points out that the young man does not consider Luna having sex with him rape, and he is a mentally competent adult, so there is nothing there for the police to investigate. This, it's worth noting, is a position the vast majority of viewers take issue with. In fact, a separate and very active Reddit thread focuses almost exclusively on what happened that night between Will and Luna. He was, most point out, unable to consent thanks to her having plied him with alcohol. The Bold and the Beautiful recap for Wednesday, October 15th, reveals that Sheila Sharp busted Deacon Sharp flirting with Taylor Hayes before spying the duo's cozy hug. At Il Giardino, Sheila begged Deacon to come home, and wanted to work through their issues together. But Deacon wasn't sure he could get past her secrets regarding Luna Nozawa. After Deacon admitted he was seeing someone, Sheila figured out he meant a therapist and wondered who it was. Sheila didn't want Deacon talking to some quack and was pleasantly surprised when he confessed he'd been speaking to Taylor. Since Sheila thought Taylor would be helpful, she approved of the doc's involvement, at least at first. Trouble came later when Sheila eavesdropped outside Taylor's office, where Deacon sought her advice on whether to end his marriage and accept that Sheila couldn't change. Taylor couldn't tell Deacon what to do since it was her job to listen, but she wasn't the Sheila cheerleader that Sheila was probably hoping for. Sheila wasn't pleased over the discussion she listened in on, especially when Deacon showered Taylor with compliments and called her beautiful. The discussion took a flirty turn before Sheila eventually opened the door to peek inside and caught Deacon giving Taylor a grateful hug. At Forrester Creations, some models showed off gowns in the showroom, but Brooke Logan and Ridge Forrester felt that Hope Logan needed something fresher and more exciting for her line's relaunch. Hope talked about looking at some designer portfolios and seeing potential, but she was clearly wishing for something that'd really grab her attention. Deke Sharp put his own portfolio down outside the showroom door before joining Hope, Ridge, and Brooke. After catching up with Brooke and Ridge briefly, Deke talked about the timing of his homecoming feeling right since Deacon needed support. Afterward, on Wednesday's B&B episode, Hope was distracted on a phone call in the design office when Deke put his portfolio down next to the sofa. Once Hope disconnected, she had another conversation with Deke about Deacon's marriage problems and the fact that he could do better than Sheila. Back with Brooke and Ridge, they shared some romantic moments before talk turned to Taylor. Brooke was still hopeful about Taylor's bright future and hinted that maybe a new man would enter her life. The bold and the beautiful spoilers say Taylor and Deacon's connection may deepen in the coming episodes, so stay tuned for updates on any big romantic news. The bold and the beautiful spoilers reveal that at least 3 romantic sabotage plots are brewing, so some major couple drama is ahead. Let's talk about which duos will be affected by the schemes and wild moves to come. 1. Sheila tries to derail Taylor and Deacon's growing bond. Now that Sheila Sharp has witnessed a close moment between Taylor Hayes and Deacon Sharp, she's going to view Taylor as a threat to her marriage. Sheila's relationship is already on shaky ground due to her Luna Nozawa deception, so she doesn't need anything else working against her right now. It'll be easy for B&B to fire up Sheila's feud with Taylor again in the coming weeks. You can bet that Sheila will try to derail Taylor and Deacon's growing bond, but her plan could backfire if she goes too far. Sheila might end up pushing Deacon even further into Taylor's arms instead, if she's not careful, especially if her plot involves some danger for Taylor. 2. Ridge self-sabotages. Brooke romance by fixating on Deacon and Taylor's connection. As for Ridge Forrester, some self-sabotage could be on the way when it comes to his own remarriage to Brooke Logan. Ridge finally chose his Logan and is back together with her, so Brooke's counting on him to truly put Taylor in the rearview mirror. Brooke is also hoping Taylor will find a new man and may wind up being thrilled about Taylor's interest in Deacon. Ridge, on the other hand, is sure to loathe the idea of Taylor and Deacon getting involved romantically. We may see Ridge get territorial over his former flame, which could lead to more issues with Brooke. Although Brooke and Ridge will likely weather the storm this time around, Ridge may create some unnecessary problems with his jealous and possessive behavior regarding Taylor. 3. Elektra blows up Remy and Deke's relationship. Of course, we should also discuss Deke Sharp and Remy Price's romance since it's headed for disaster. Elektra Forrester's friendship with Deke will complicate things for Remy, who hasn't told his beau the extent of his deep-fake turmoil and the scary stalker mess he created. Once Elektra realizes Deke is dating Remy, she may make it her mission to open Deke's eyes to who his boyfriend really is. Elektra may want to protect Deke and make Remy pay in the process. The bold and the beautiful spoilers say some romantic sabotage is coming up on B&B, so we'll bring you updates on any huge couple shakeup news. Rebecca Budig can count on having Sean Kanan in her corner. With Taylor and Deacon growing closer, Sean Kanan and Rebecca Budig are in more scenes together on The Bold and the Beautiful. The two co-stars are enjoying working together, and Kanan recently praised his new on-screen partner. Soap fans are vocal when it comes to airing their opinions. Whether it's a storyline, a character, or a character's appearance, they don't hold back. Recently, some B&B fans have been critical of Taylor's wardrobe choices. During one of Taylor and Deacon's sessions, viewers noticed that she was wearing a pair of high stiletto heels. Fans poked fun at the shoes and Budig's short stature. Well, it didn't take long for Kanan to notice the online criticism and set everyone straight. On X, the actor praised Budig while also offering insight into the show's production. It has more to do about lighting. When there is a large disparity in height between actors, it creates lighting challenges. Short or tall, Rebecca is fantastic. Kanan's comment section was then filled with applause for standing up for Budig. "She's a wonderful actress for sure," wrote one fan. "Rebecca has range, and I hope you two are given a chance with memorable performances and good script writing," another fan gushed. "Looking forward to this story. Gets Deacon out from behind the bar," declared one viewer. Fans will be seeing more of Budig and Kanan as their characters grow closer. Deacon sought Taylor's help in dealing with his grief and his marital problems. Little does Deacon know that the therapy sessions will change his life in more ways than one. Deacon is in awe of the world-renowned psychiatrist and the significant help she's providing him. As their sessions continue, Deacon will find himself falling for Taylor and vice versa. Taylor will feel guilty about falling for Deacon since he's her patient and a married man. Yet, that hasn't stopped many B&B characters from acting on their feelings. However, the couple had better watch out for Deacon's wife, Sheila. She caught the two hugging in Taylor's office, and the moment has already ignited Sheila's jealousy. With Taylor posing a threat to her marriage, Sheila may be targeting the doctor, leaving Deacon caught in the crossfire. The Bold and the Beautiful, spoilers and updates tease, could Luna Nozawa orchestrate a chaotic prison break? Will she make her escape while targeting multiple foes for revenge? Fans of B&B are well aware of Luna's fury when she discovered that a get-out-of-jail-free card was not in her future after all. Thanks to Electra Forrester's call to the police, Luna has been apprehended for her latest offenses at the beach house. Facing yet another lengthy prison sentence, Luna might be feeling the pressure to carve out a new escape from her troubles. Her plans surrounding her pregnancy isn't unfolding as she envisioned, prompting her to consider a different approach. Katie Logan proposed that she could ultimately gain custody of the baby with Bill Spencer, ensuring that Luna's child never learns of her existence. Luna has battled with her questions about her father throughout her life, so this suggestion certainly struck a nerve. The idea of Luna's baby being forcibly taken from her, leaving him or her unaware that she is their mother, must be incredibly frustrating for her. Considering this, Luna might conclude that her only choice is to escape and distance herself as much as possible from the Spencers. If Luna comes to terms with the fact that Will Spencer will never love her or defend her, she may be open to exploring this different route. Perhaps Luna could play the victim card to a gullible guard and gain some help. She might even receive assistance from Sheila Sharp, who has a track record of successful jailbreaks. No matter the situation, prison facilities often have a surprising ease of escape when a soap opera plot demands it. After all, soaps aren't exactly reality shows. If the writers of B&B decide that Luna needs to make a rapid exit, they will surely find a way to make it happen. While it would be wise for Luna to vanish into the darkness, her thirst for revenge could take precedence. It's not hard to envision Luna seeking out several targets for payback as she flees the town. She might track down Electra, along with anyone else she perceives as having wronged her. One thing for sure, Luna would have quite the revenge list of targets, considering all who's to blame for her predicament. The target list may feature Will, Katie, Bill, Lee Finnegan, Poppy Nozawa, and particularly Steffi Forrester when she returns to town. If Luna goes on a wrathful rampage, she could aim for any or all of these players, so keep an eye out for updates on any potential ominous news on the horizon. According to the spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Luna's days of causing chaos might still be far from over. The Bold and the Beautiful, spoilers and updates tease that Poppy Nozawa might see Luna Nozawa's baby as a way to reunite with Bill Spencer. This could turn into an unexpected move for custody after hearing about Luna's latest troubles. Poppy could start plotting her own strategy. Maybe Poppy still hopes to be with Bill and thinks this baby could help her get back together with him. Bill seems more interested in reuniting with Katie Logan, but that might not stop Poppy from trying. She could see Luna's baby as her chance to become part of the Spencer family and start plotting to do so. Meanwhile, Luna wants to win over Will Spencer and become Mrs. Spencer. But Will insists he only loves Electra Forrester and has made it clear he wants nothing to do with Luna. If Luna is in jail when her baby is born, who will take care of the child? A prison's no place for a baby. Katie wants to get custody with Bill, but things might not go as planned, although they're a better bet than Poppy. Will might try to raise the baby himself, but that could hurt his relationship with Electra. She could resent the baby in spite of herself. Bill and Katie seem prepared to step in, but Poppy could still disrupt their plans. Bill has already complicated things by arranging Luna's house arrest and pardon. Bill has put off calling the police on Luna while waiting for the paternity test, which gives Poppy some leverage. She might threaten to seek full custody of her grandchild unless she can make a deal with Bill. Poppy could even suggest sharing custody to get closer to Bill again. Or she might realize she wants to do better this time and give her grandchild the stability she never gave Luna. Fans could see Poppy have a change of heart and decide to support Luna's baby, no matter what happens. It will be interesting if Poppy makes a surprise move for custody. Stay tuned for more updates, as The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers hint that Luna's baby will keep the drama going. Be sure to catch up on everything happening with B&B right now. Come back here often for The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers, news, and updates. Luna is going to need a good lawyer if she wants to beat her latest criminal charges. Luna's pregnancy wasn't enough to keep her out of prison on The Bold and the Beautiful. Now that she's going back to the big house, her and her baby's lives are at risk. But a certain family member could return to offer their help. Luna was in a good mood after a DNA test confirmed Will was the father of her unborn baby. However, her joy was shattered when Lieutenant Baker arrested her. As it turned out, Electra called the cops and put an end to Luna's freedom. Everyone can rest easier knowing Luna is behind bars. However, they shouldn't get too comfy because she might be out sooner than later. Things look gloomy for Luna as she awaits trial for shooting Liam and Sheila. She's going to need a good lawyer, which is where Grandpa/Uncle Jack comes in. As fans might remember, Lee was searching for a lawyer when she had Luna hidden. It just so happens that Lee's ex-husband, Jack, is an attorney. Lee could have asked for his assistance when she thought she could redeem Luna. While Lee might have changed her mind about Luna in prison, Jack won't. Jack agreed to take Luna's case, and a prison visit will have him eager to help his granddaughter/niece. Luna is a master at pulling off the waterworks, and she'll have Jack's sympathy by expressing concern over her and her baby's lives. If Jack gets Luna released, he'll become one of the best and most hated lawyers on B&B. Jack will not only face the wrath of his family, but also the Spencers. Bill and Katie will blast him for putting everyone in danger, and knowing Luna, she'll be back to her old trick of causing trouble. Her main targets will be Will and Electra. Luna won't forget that Electra is the one who had her arrested. She's already vowed to steal Will from Electra, but that might not be enough. Luna might resort to deadly measures to remove Electra from Will's life. If Will or Electra gets hurt by Luna, Jack may regret his decision to get her released from prison. Taylor comforted Deacon as Sheila watched them with an evil look on her face. Viewers fear that Taylor could end up in trouble. Taylor could end up in trouble after getting close to Deacon. The two embraced on the Wednesday, October 15th episode of The Bold and the Beautiful. Fans think the worst is yet to come when it comes to Sheila Carter. Sheila claims she's been reformed thanks to Deacon. He kept her on the straight and narrow until she learned that she was Luna's grandmother. Now, she's been tiptoeing around the truth ever since. Sheila failed to inform Deacon that Luna was still very much alive and continuing to cause trouble among the three prominent families. Now that he's found out everything, he wants nothing to do with his wife, who's siding with her murderous granddaughter. Deacon ended up at Taylor's office, and the two have been talking a lot since. During their last therapy session, Deacon flirted with Taylor and told her that Ridge was crazy to leave her for Brooke. Then, their session ended in a hug as Sheila watched from the door. Fans on Reddit believe Sheila will revert to her villainous ways. The original poster noted, "I can see the fury in her eyes. And if this will spark up a new drama besides the Luna drama, then I'm in for it, honestly. One person responded, I was thinking the same when I saw Sheila lurking outside of Taylor's office. I hope this doesn't mean Ridge will rush to save her, and he goes back to Taylor. Not all fans are fearful of Sheila's wicked ways returning. They would love to see this new storyline play out. That would be really fun, one Redditor wrote, while another added, I'm here for it. Bring on the next villain. Brooke previously said she was worried about Taylor. Fans on another Reddit thread described this moment as out of character, since she never considered Taylor's feelings when she got Ridge back. However, these ominous words could have another meaning. Brooke might suggest that something could happen to Taylor, and with Sheila lurking around, who knows what could happen. I feel like it was a setup for an unfortunate accident, as Sheila was listening in on the therapy session. It was all creepy, one Redditor noted. The Bold and the Beautiful's must-watch moments for Friday, October 17th include Deke introducing himself to Elektra as Will struggles to understand why Luna targeted him. Plus, Finn confronts Lee over her lies. Lee secretly saved Luna's life while making everyone believe she'd died. Finn never got to have a relationship with the daughter he didn't know was his. However, ultimately, considering how Luna targeted his family, it seemed Finn mostly felt relief over the whole thing. That is, until he learned Luna was still alive, wreaking havoc in Los Angeles. There's no doubt Steffi will be beside herself when she learns the truth about her attacker. Luna's latest crime was taking advantage of a drunken Will. He thought he was sleeping with Elektra, only to learn later that it was Luna. Not only that, but Luna is also pregnant with his child. While she was rearrested, Will still has to deal with the situation, and it's been a struggle. Meanwhile, Deke returned to Los Angeles, sharing a heartfelt reunion with his sister Hope. Deke is a budding designer, and he gave Hope some good advice about her Hope for the Future line. Unfortunately for her, she didn't follow Deke's plan. He snuck his portfolio into a pile of professional designers. It looks like Deke is hoping to make his mark at Forrester Creations, but he doesn't want to simply rely on his connection to Hope to do it. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers for Thursday, October 16th, 2025, reveal Deke going after what he wants. With Hope for the Future back in business and in need of a new designer, Deke Sharp thinks it's finally his chance to make it big. However, he doesn't want the job just because Hope Logan is his sister. He wants to be chosen fair and square, so he sneaks his portfolio into a pile of applicants for the Forrester Creations team to go through. Deke is confident that he can get the job if everyone sees what he is capable of. He doesn't want any favors due to his sibling. However, he might want to have some patience because the people in charge have something better to do on Thursday than look over designer portfolios. Brooke Logan and Ridge Forrester take some time for themselves and indulge in some passionate office moments. The PDAs never stop at FC, but will Brooke end up in her underwear as usual? There's never a dull moment in Eric's office or the design office. While Deke isn't angling to get a job, he spends some time with his father and lends a supportive ear. Deacon Sharp is having a hard time dealing with what Sheila Carter has done and worries that it could be the end of his marriage. Deke is sorry to hear that his dad is going through such a rough time, but does he have any words of advice? Perhaps Deacon should have realized who he was marrying before he married her. Then again, Deacon is not the paragon of virtue. As for Sheila, she wants her husband back and may resort to some underhanded things to get him there. Does she realize that being underhanded and secretive is how she got herself into this mess to begin with? Sheila never learns, and she seems to have passed that trait down to her granddaughter, crazy Luna Nozawa. This week on The Bold and the Beautiful, Luna Nozawa will continue to be a thorn in her bio dad John Finnegan's side. The fact that Luna is still kicking could cost Finn his family. What will Finn tell Steffi Forrester when she comes home? Keep reading to find out. Here's what's coming up next on the CBS soap. Spoilers down below. Finn was furious on Bold and Beautiful when he learned that his daughter Luna Nozawa wasn't dead. It's safe to say when it comes to Luna and his wife Steffi Forrester, there's no question where his loyalty lies. B&B spoilers say Dr. John Finnegan is going to be in serious trouble when his wife returns. This week on the CBS soap, Luna Nozawa was carted off to jail in handcuffs baby bump and all. Finn should be thrilled that his wife's threat has been locked up, but he still hasn't told Steffi Forrester that the Il Giardino killer is still alive. The Bold and the Beautiful viewers know that Dr. Finn wants nothing to do with his troubled daughter, but Steffi isn't going to believe that when she is the last to know that Luna is still alive. In Finn's defense, his in-laws encouraged him not to tell his wife that Luna was on the loose. However, B&B spoilers hint that Steffi will see Finn's secret as a betrayal. Shouldn't Steffi Forrester have had the right to decide if she still wanted to come back to Los Angeles? If the girl who attempted to murder her is still alive? You have to feel for Queen Steffi. She spent the past 3 months on a mental health break and was trying to get her head together after her last run-in with Luna Nozawa. Now, she will come home refreshed and healed and be back in her worst nightmare. All that healing was for nothing. Do you think Finn was wrong to hide that Luna was alive from Steffi? Should he have told her immediately? Does his wife have a reason to be upset? Share your thoughts in the comments down below, and don't forget to keep checking back here on Celebrating the Soaps for more B&B spoilers and news. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers for the week of October 20th suggest some major twists. Fans can expect Remy Price's secret is at risk. Deke Sharp could face more complications. Plus, when Steffi Forrester Finnegan returns, she will be full of rage. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Everyone agreed not to tell Steffi about Luna Nozawa until she was back in prison. However, fans already know that is going to be a huge mistake. Steffi will blow, especially when she finds out about Lee Finnegan's part in it. Then, Steffi will get updated about Luna tricking Will Spencer into impregnating her. Steffi might be furious at John Finn Finnegan, Ridge Forrester, and Taylor Hayes as well for not warning her. There is also the fact that John Finn Finnegan is the grandfather of Luna's baby. Will Steffi see Luna every time she looks at the child? Over with Kelly Spencer and Hayes Forrester Finnegan, they will share a happy reunion. Now that Steffi is coming back, Finn and everyone else will have a lot to update her on. Steffi might even go to the prison to confront Luna. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers for the week of October 20th suggest that Deke's sneaky move could yield a victory. It just might be Deke's portfolio that impresses Hope Logan. That could mean Deke gets his shot at designing for Hope for the future. However, Deke is keeping a big secret about Remy. With Deke and Elektra Forrester becoming friends, Remy's sins should come out. Elektra doesn't have any idea Deke is romantically involved with Remy. At some point, Elektra might talk about being deep-faked and stalked, maybe even mentioning Remy's name. Fans might also see Hope and Liam Spencer getting even closer, rebuilding their connection. Meanwhile, Carter Walton will continue moving on with Daphne Rose. We should be getting to know a bit more about Daphne's past. It seems the Nose might have some scandalous secrets, so stay tuned. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of October 20th, 2025? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. Bold and the Beautiful gives some huge couple shakeups coming on B&B, and 3 new pairs that should rise from the ashes when other couples crash and burn. November Sweeps is bringing big romance for several characters. We're going to talk about how Taylor Hayes, Hope Logan, and Daphne Rose's lives are rocked by big changes that bring love to some and heartbreak to others. All right, the first thing we're going to talk about is Taylor. She has been a hot topic of conversation ever since Brooke Logan fell off that boat in Italy, nearly drowned, and came out of that crisis with a new/old husband. Now that she remarried Ridge Forrester, we have seen Brooke concerned though, and surprisingly, it's Taylor that she is worried about. Now that Brooke has her destiny and her happily ever after, she is hoping that Taylor will also find her own destiny. The most bizarre thing is that destiny may be delivered because of Luna Nozawa's twisted return from the not-so-dead. In addition to messing up her own life and Will Spencer and Elektra Forrester's lives, Luna's resurrection is messing up things for other people, including her grandma, Sheila Carter. She has now lost her husband, Deacon Sharp, moved out of their apartment, and he is thinking about walking away from her for good. So they're really struggling. Deacon just asked Taylor if he should call it quits with Sheila. He's not sure that his wife has changed. He can't trust her, and Deacon thinks Sheila might snap and do who knows what. Bold and the Beautiful spoilers also say that Taylor is heading down a different path that could lead to a new relationship. And a different path means anybody but Ridge, right? So that could definitely lead her to Deacon. What's ironic is at first, Sheila told Deacon she thought him doing therapy with Taylor was great because she's such a good psychiatrist that maybe she could fix their marriage. But then Sheila eavesdropped on Deacon when he was telling Taylor she is gorgeous and intelligent and so pure and that Ridge is an idiot for dumping her. And then Sheila had to pivot, and now she sees Taylor as a rival. The bottom line is Deacon can't get past the fact Sheila lied about Luna being alive. Deacon is being very flirty with Taylor, and she is enjoying the attention. And then Deacon and Taylor shared a warm embrace, and Sheila saw it, and she wasn't happy. It was pretty cuddly and sweet for a doctor-patient thing. At the same time, Deacon's kids, Hope and Deke, were talking about how they wish their dad would find someone sane and nice and normal that has all 10 of her toes. I would be stunned if Taylor and Deacon don't spark soon. November sweeps start at the end of the month, and we might even get a kiss by then. I would be surprised if Taylor and Deacon move fast, though. I think first of all because Bold never moves fast, and also I think Deacon and Taylor would be on a slow burn to give Sheila time to freak out and plot against Taylor and make trouble. Even so, to me, it feels like Deacon and Taylor might have a real chance at romance, but we'll see. All right, next let's talk about Hope. She got involved with Carter Walton way too fast, and she accepted a ring from him before Hope should have ever considered getting engaged to him. She was just talking to Deke Sharp the other day about her issues with Thomas Forrester, and she's kind of had a revelation about why things with the two of them didn't work out. Of course, during the coup when Carter gave Forrester Creations back to the family without warning her, Hope was crushed. She felt like Carter betrayed her. And then there was the whole Daphne kissing Carter thing, so Hope broke up with Carter. But then Liam Spencer pushed Hope to get back with Carter when Liam thought he was dying. And so when Hope found out Liam wasn't dying, Carter saw the writing on the wall. After sticking to his guns and fighting to keep Hope for just a little bit, we saw Carter do the gracious thing and he stepped aside. He ended his engagement to Hope because he knows she loves and wants to be with Liam. So, Carter took his ring off her finger and he sent Hope to the father-daughter dance that Liam and Beth were hosting at the Logans. And although Liam noticed Hope wasn't wearing the ring, that's the last we saw. No kiss, no nothing. Liam and Hope have not officially reunited, but I expect it's going to happen in November sweeps. And in fact, they may just leapfrog. And we hear that a reunion happened off-screen because the teeny bopper pregnancy has taken center stage right now on the show. I expect that we will see them getting engaged or hear that they're engaged. I'm wondering if we will have a Lope wedding in November sweeps because they decide they don't want to waste any more time since Liam's near-death ordeal reminded them that life is precious. That leads us to talk about Daphne. Now that they've added Muriel Hilaire to the opening credits of Bold and the Beautiful, I anticipate we will be seeing more of her, and that should come soon. And definitely more of Daphne with Carter. You know, Daphne has had her eye on Carter for quite some time now. Daphne even admitted that she had fallen in love with him when she came to town to overthrow him during the coup. So, Daphne was absolutely heartbroken when Carter went back to Hope after finding out about Liam's alleged brain tumor. Daphne was so heartbroken, she packed her bags and went back to France, but she eventually came back to LA. If you remember, Hope was worried. She didn't want Steffi Forrester to bring Daphne back. But now, Hope and Carter are done. So, it could finally be time for Daphne to get her man. Carter is split from Hope, and I bet Daphne gets her paws on him soon. And again, Carter ran to her right after he took the ring off Hope's finger. But we didn't see any official coupling up. So again, we may find out that they've been dating, and they've been doing it off-screen. You know, Bold and the Beautiful might skip a few steps because they have such a limited amount of showtime, like 15 to 17 minutes a day. And that means only one storyline, really, maybe two, can be up front. We also know how much Carter loves to get engaged. So, I would be stunned if she didn't have a ring on her finger soon, and Daphne and Carter make plans. It would be wild if we had a Liam and Hope double wedding alongside Daphne and Carter. You know, save money on the decorations and all that. Get them both married at once, and then they could officiate each other's weddings. So, we may also, speaking of couples, finally see Bill Spencer get that reconciliation he wants with Katie Logan, because this Luna crisis is pulling them together and she wants to raise Will and Luna's baby. So that could help Bill convince Katie to come back to him. And finally, the last person I'm wondering about whether they get a new relationship is Lunatic Luna. Now she knows Will may not never give her a shot. So will she find someone in prison? I'm not saying Luna's going to find true love behind bars, but maybe she hooks up with somebody in prison that can help her, a guard or something. That would be a page straight out of her grandma Sheila's book. Like when she made friends with Sugar and then convinced her to get look-alike surgery and then take her place in prison. I mean, it'd be wild if Bold did a redo of that. Luna is a big schemer, so I could see her getting her hooks into someone in prison, another prisoner, a guard, the warden. Who even knows? So, Luna may get a new romance or some awful new alliance. So we'll see how it goes in November sweeps. And just real quick, congratulations to Jacqueline McInnes Wood on the birth of son number 5. His name is Talon Respoli. He was born in a home birth in her bathtub with his 4 brothers and his dad right there. It's a really cool name. I like Talon. That's kind of neat. All her kids have cool names, and we're going to have Steffi back on screen next week. But for now, congrats to the mom of 5 boys. Wow, that's a whole lot of boys. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers are in for Thursday, October 16th, 2025. In the next episode, fans can expect Deke Sharp to commit a slick act. Hope Logan learns shocking intel. Plus, Ridge Forrester and Brooke Logan Forrester share a passionate kiss. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Let's start off with Deke, who wants to get a leg in at Forrester Creations. The aspiring designer went to talk to Hope, then learned that she was looking for a new designer. Instead of just saying he would like to put in an application too, he got devious. The young man took his portfolio and slipped it into the stock of applications at Forrester Creations. We know that this week, Hope looks at the portfolios with Brooke, Ridge, and Carter Walton. So, will Hope be impressed by Deke's portfolio? We can't forget that Deke took pictures of the other portfolios. So, I have to wonder if those designs he submitted are truly his. Over with Hope, she will reconnect with Deke once again. The young man will be worried about Deacon Sharp. Deke will inform Hope about everything Deacon is going through with Sheila Carter Sharp. They will both be worried about their father, but will they do anything about it? There is also Deke's secret relationship with Remy Price. While Deke is keeping his partner a secret from everyone, the truth always comes out eventually. The Bold and the Beautiful, spoilers for Thursday, October 15th, reveal that Brooke and Ridge share a passionate kiss. While everything seems to be going well for the couple now, I wonder what their next obstacle will be. Fans can also expect everyone to be relieved that Luna Nozawa is back behind bars. However, what are they going to do about the baby? Katie Logan threatened to get custody of the baby, but I wonder if someone could object legally. Sheila, Lee Finnegan, or even Penelope Poppy Nozawa could have another idea. Even though John Finnegan wants Luna in prison, could he decide to take the child? It seems this adoption might not be as easy as Beatty think. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most on Thursday, October 16th, 2025? On The Bold and the Beautiful, Luna was finally sent back to prison after using her pregnancy to evade justice. Katie warned Luna on Tuesday's all-new episode that she and Bill would take the baby from Luna after she gives birth. However, despite Will being confirmed as the child's father, there are other characters with potential claims to custody. Poppy lied to everyone about Luna's paternity for her entire life, something that robbed Finn of being there for his daughter. Finn has stated on several occasions that he believed his influence could have potentially prevented the mayhem caused by Luna. Much of Luna's motivation for criminal behavior stemmed from growing up without a father. The men she murdered, and the lengths she went to frame her mother, came from a place of revenge. Luna's baby could serve as an opportunity for Finn to retain a connection to his daughter without letting her into his life. Steffi is returning soon, and that could complicate things in their marriage. But Finn has been known to deviate from what he's told. Sheila has gotten close to their family on numerous instances because Finn couldn't commit to keeping her at bay. However, this baby is different. Despite everyone's desire to forget the fact, the baby inside of Luna is Finn's grandchild, and they're just an innocent pawn in her twisted game. Despite Luna's penchant for heinous crimes, the baby had no part in that, so there's no desperate need for Finn to keep his distance. This could serve as a second chance for Finn to bond with that part of his life. If Will doesn't feel ready to be a father, the next best thing might be Finn stepping in and taking over. He can provide the baby with a loving, stable home, which Luna would never be able to do, in or out of prison. Finn is far from the only grandparent to Luna's baby who might stake a claim once she gives birth. The other immediate grandparent, besides Bill, Katie, and Finn, is Poppy, who may be looking for a second chance of her own. Poppy's poor parenting has been well documented, with Luna attributing it to several of her violent actions. However, she might be ready to prove to Luna, Lee, and everyone else that she can do things differently this time around. Although Bill and Katie have already proclaimed a desire to raise the child, Poppy is quite the wild card and could throw her name into the ring. If grandparents are possible contenders for custody, there's always the chance, although rather unlikely, that two of the great-grandparents could step forward. Although Lee is responsible for faking Luna's death, which allowed her to sexually assault Will, she may want a shot at redemption. Raising the baby could be Lee's way of seeking forgiveness in the world. However, because of her past with Luna, it would be difficult to trust that she'd keep the baby from its unhinged mother.